a whole lot of people,
Okay.
will say, "Oh no, you're being colorist. Do you want to?" And I'm just like, what's the difference? But my only difference was, and the reason why I was intentional is because I'm a traditional person, so ndiyawenza imicimbi, amasiko and whatnot. And I really do believe in Indoye lineage.
Okay.
So my thing was, if ngoku I use Ndoyom like an egg donor,
Yeah.
and I
You don't
finally, say this, and I'm just like, what if ngoku umntana, let's say we're not 2 months or 3 months old, and then they just finish feeding or they're sleeping, and I go to the bathroom. When I come back, they're on top of the fridge. And I'm just like, so this is takazelo zakho. Oh,
lapho
Kabazela, Zamini.
Hello and welcome to Life Lately, the podcast where we explore and dive into real conversation on child parenting, on relationships and life's challenges. My name is Nozipho, and I cannot wait to share with you these authentic conversations that I have with my guests. So if this is your community where you want to be vulnerable, have authentic conversation, this is your community. Please do not forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. Today, I'm joined by the fabulous stop. Fabulous Moshe Ndiki. Okay, so the month of June, we are entering the month where we celebrate fathers. Is Father's Day worldwide, right?
Yes,
It
and
is.
I think, yeah,
It is.
everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere. So
Yeah.
it's everywhere. So we're celebrating fathers this June. And the first episode we have, in fact, it's our last episode of the season. And we thought we'd close it off with a legend, my fave.
How old am I?
Stop. I saw this thing on Instagram recently that gave me this idea. And it was Trevor Noah saying something like, if he had children, he would give them two things. First of all, it's to be chosen.
Yeah.
And secondly, it's to be considered.
Yeah.
And that for me just stuck. And I was just like, what? And this guy's not even a father yet. And I said, what? And he said, parents don't consider their children when they make decisions.
That is literally true. And sometimes at some points, there have been days on my side where I chose to attend an event than tucking my kids in.
Yeah.
And I think it's because especially as a single parent, I've got this thing, I need to work for my kids. Work needs to be done. If they're taken care of, they've got food, they're whatnot. But there's so much that goes into being a parent than just being a provider, and for me, I love, to be chosen and to be considered. Because honestly, in each and everything that we do as parents, we need to consider our kids. Yeah. When you're buying groceries, you need to consider your kids. When you are taking time off work for yourself, you still need to consider your kids. If you've got 5 days off of work, then is it going to be 4 days kids and 1 day to yourself? Is it going to be 3 days kids and 2 days to yourself? Are you going to say kids, me, kids, me, kids? There's so many things that you need to consider when you're taking on a project. You'll get maybe sometimes an international project. What does that mean for my kids? Am I going with them to the US? Oh, also, this is not something that's happening. Just putting it out there to the universe. Universe, I speak, you receive.
We are manifesting.
So, if I get a big break, let's say in the US, am I taking my kids? Am I leaving them here for stability? What does stability look like for me? What does it look like for them? So I absolutely agree with those points. And nyani abantwana, that's what they really, really need, to be chosen, to be considered. Because if your parents choose you and your parents consider you, then I think we might make less fumbles in our relationships, because it then goes into our romantic relationships, how we handle ourselves, how we treat, the next person, how we relate to our partners. I didn't have a strong relationship growing up with my dad, which, for the longest time I thought I was okay with it because my mom was there. She did everything. I never lacked for anything. Obviously it was not all roses, but you know what? She
Did her best.
she did her best, and above and beyond what she had, in her hands, in her pocket, on the table. And I realized that I think the not feeling chosen or considered by my dad really latches on to my romantic relationships. I tend to parent, well, not parent, like mother,
charge, yeah.
not charged, like care for more than I need to in a romantic relationship. I go above and beyond.
Overly loving,
If there's ever such a thing. I give it my all. What's mine is yours. And I think I do it to my detriment, where I don't know whether it's a blind spot that I've got. Well, that's what my therapist said. To people's nonsense, whether it's a partner, whether it's a friend, because I think it's just wanting to be considered and chosen, even in friendships as well. I give my all, loyalty, love, and everything else. But because I never felt chosen or considered by my dad, I think I overcompensate in all of my other relationships, even, in friendships. If I can't make it for a friend's birthday, I feel so guilty. I will buy the most expensive gift, or maybe overcompensate. Exactly. So, in raising my kids, I want them to know that they're enough, to give them the power of saying, I'm enough as I am. One, and my dad considers me, my dad chooses me. I don't have to stay in a nonsense friendship. I don't have to stay in a nonsense relationship.
I'm solid at home.
I'm solid at home. It's like when I came out, finally.
Tell me.
Because the people had been accusing me. I want to imagine the way I would cry in primary school. What dare you?
What?
Well, a couple of years later, ta-da!
Actually, you were right.
And I remember coming out to my mom, and it wasn't easy for her. And I was like, "But you've got so many lesbian and gay friends." Girl, when it's inside the house, kubanzima kuyibona. I think everyone else saw it besides her, I think. But when I finally came out to her, yes, she had a bit of difficulty accepting it. Not that she was like, I'm going to die or I'm going to burn or anything like that. She was just like, on the first day when I came out, she was just like, I can't believe this. My one and only son, my one and only child. I'm like, girl, I'm not dead. I'm alive and queer. Okay? So there was that transition. It took a year and 2 months for us to be the best friends that we are right now. There's nothing that I don't tell my mom. Literally every single.
I actually know your dice. And
which one?
The one that lives in Craigavon.
No, my boss's girl.
I know. So I've seen your relationship with her. If it's anything to go by that, it's amazing.
Literally like
She's fabulous.
We speak about everything. Relationships, career, whatever's happening, in our lives. So that year and 2 months was very, very difficult because I was still in varsity. I had just gone through my first big breakup with my first love. And I remember then, because, when we were in love, before I went home, we were in love, getting up with people. Oh, rugby player. It was my first time seeing a 10-pack. I'm like, I want color 6. And it was my first boyfriend. And, not...
You date girls before that?
Who, me? Yes, I did.
And?
Yes, I did. Yeah, and it felt natural. Okay. It did not feel like
friendship.
Yeah, it didn't feel uncomfortable. Right now, as I stand, I am not bisexual. I am gay.
Okay.
But I don't know. I don't know.
Stop.
But I'm definitely gay.
Okay.
So it never felt uncomfortable me dating a girl when I was in high school. I remember I still call her. I haven't been in contact with her for some time. I still call her the love of my life. You know, she was amazing. You know,
Hey, but look
beautiful
at the
Afro.
blush. I what's going on?
She really was. She's also in the same industry last time I checked.
Okay.
She, she was amazing.
That's good.
She really, really was amazing. So when I told my mom that I'm gay, now we had broken up.
Okay.
I got home for holidays and I was just a mess. When I get home, I'm that kid that will cook, clean couches upside down, make sure everything is good, whatnot. And then I'll go out, you know, maybe skip 2-3 days of not sleeping at home.
Yeah.
I'm at my friend's place, whatnot, catching up, varsity things. This time I got back home and I just locked myself in the room. I wasn't speaking, I wasn't saying anything. And she was like, dude, it's enough now. You've been here for like 5 days. What's happening? And I was like,
Actually,
it's
a boy.
yeah. I'm going through a breakup. Oh no, it's going to be, what did she do? Oh no, it's a he. Boom, boom. You know what I mean? So I came out and then I told her about the relationship and sort of like my other past relationships. I was like, oh, remember that guy? Remember that girl I was telling you about? Uzuki. So no, it's actually
Zugi.
Uzu.
It's like
Yeah.
she's so
Bongeka. No, that was Bongan. So we went through that.
I'm sure it felt good, to be honest.
Yeah, and the confidence it gave me when she finally accepted and we were on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
Anyone could call me Stabane on the streets, in the road, whatever, and busy more whatever derogatory word that they could think of. But I was like,
I'm solid at home.
I'm solid at home.
Yeah.
Ndiyathanda omnekhaya and umama uyandamkela. So when okay, sharp, and then what? Oh, buzz off.
Uba.
Correct. Exactly. So it literally does give a certain type of confidence. And it comes from abazali. It comes from your surrounding. You don't learn to be, you know, confident all by yourself. Now I got my confidence from my mom from then. Sometimes you fake the confidence, and you just like, because at some point there's something that you're hiding, a void, you're hiding pain, you're hiding a past trauma or anything. So sometimes you have to fake it till you make it. But generally, genuine confidence comes from your surroundings.
Do you know that I can tell that you're in therapy by the way you speak?
Really?
Yeah.
Shut up, dog.
Shout out away. My kids have been teaching me to say away, shout out.
Away. And when you're lying, what do they say nowadays? You're capping.
Lalela.
Cap. I'm like, hey boy, caps.
So going back to being chosen and considered. It does show that you were chosen and considered by your mom. And I know that you're gonna take the same teachings to the boys.
Definitely. I mean, the biggest, I think, consideration I made for them was when, the surrogacy. I think my surrogate was already pregnant. Yes, she was. We had just found out that she's pregnant on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
On Christmas Eve, we found out she was pregnant. On Christmas Day, we found out she's having twins.
Oh my God.
And
what a gift.
You know? And before, because the way I was so intentional about having these kids, I sold my 2 properties so that I could buy like a big house, because I wanted them to like play in the lawn.
Stop.
Sand pit there. Again, the sand pit, not so much because it's going to ruin the aesthetic of the garden. But now I need to choose them. I need to consider them. So
they get dirty.
Okay, sharp, sand pit. And that was one of my biggest considerations for them, was making sure that they grow up in a beautiful home, a comfortable home, enough for them to play around. And I had to let go of a relationship that I was in, right? And for me, it was like, I can't raise kids with this person, you know? And even when we, as parents, we need to choose the right partners, especially if the partner is not the person that you are having. Well, the partner, let's say you had a kid before, then you meet someone, you need to consider that person.
Yeah.
You need to consider your children.
Yeah.
You know, what type of a person is this? And there's this thing that I feel like society or humanity has made it acceptable. But you know what? A person can be a trash husband or a trash partner, but they make a good
father. Yeah.
For me, that's absolute nonsense.
Yeah.
You're a bad person. You're a bad person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can be there for school plays and show up, pay for the fees, buy toys, be present, teach them how to ride a bike. But if me, you know, as your partner, I'm crying myself to bed every night, and so forth, it just...
What good does it do the kids?
Exactly.
You can't mistreat the people that you're raising or the person that's raising your kids. You can't mistreat the person that your children love.
Exactly.
That's literally my thing.
You know, and it's just like, you know, I can today, let's say, guys, this is a made up story. I can, let's say, bump a person on the road. Hypothetically speaking, that's the word I was looking for. Bump a person on the road and nobody saw me. I drive off sharp and I don't report it. I don't know, let's say the person dies. I don't report it. I try to cover it up or whatnot. Let's say there's someone, I try to cover it up. And then following day, I'm out there giving 1,000 laptops to a university or to the less fortunate.
Yeah.
Now I'm a good philanthropist.
Who's a murderer.
But I'm also a murderer.
Yeah.
So does that make me a good person? It
doesn't.
It doesn't. And people think when you treat other people good and you treat other people bad, the ones that get treated good are like, no, but he's a good person. But what about...
But I always say, there's this thing that I always say, people meet people differently. You experience people differently. That's what I'm trying to say. I experience people differently. So for me, if my brother's wife comes to me and says, you know, your brother's not kind, you know, his this and this, I can't come with my version of, I grew up with my brother, but I don't know my brother as a husband.
Exactly.
I don't know my brother as a husband. So that's the thing that society is also struggling with.
Yeah.
We always be like, but umuntu, he's a good person. Yeah, you know.
It's either about, oh, no, you mistake.
Yeah.
No, it's like there's something...
Call a spade a spade.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's
if
call
a person is an outright liar, then that's what they are. You know, if they're downright manipulative, plotting, scheming, then that's literally what they are. And I even say, I was speaking to a friend of mine, Utebi, before I actually came here, and I was like, sometimes I feel like Joburg is not designed for me, and I don't like the way that it's hardening me, because I don't want my kids to grow up with a father that has now learned to have a hard heart. You know what I mean? And I was like, man, there's just something in the air in terms of loyalty, love, trust. Now I'm a person of genuine and, you know, strong relationships. Even if I meet you once or twice, I consider you as someone that I know, someone that is in my life. So whether directly or indirectly, I would never want to cause harm to you. Because even if we've met, you know, it's just like you know, and I'm just bumping into them again, more so when it's, you know, friends. But now as a father, I'm juggling friendships, relationships as well, where I now need to consider my kids in terms of like my going out, my budget.
Who's also around your kids.
Exactly. And who is around my kids? What type of person is around my kids? I strongly believe in energies as well.
And a village. You build for yourself.
What type of people am I hanging around? You know, are those the type of people that I would want my kids to look up to? Because sometimes you're not your kid's role model, but your sister is, your mother is, or your best friend is.
True.
You know, that's someone that they can go to in confidence and be like, hey, this is what I'm going through, whatnot. And, you know, you've got that trust in your friends or best friend or your sister will be like, hey, listen, let's keep this between you and I.
Yeah.
This is what's happening.
Your son's going through.
Yeah, this is what your son is going through.
I love those people.
This is what's happening. this is how would you like us to handle this, but without you knowing and whatnot. Well, without you knowing,
but you know,
so at least you know how
the
to
trust.
handle. Yes, you keep the trust, and you also know how to handle it, also from the mother's perspective as well. You know what I mean? So we need to really choose and consider the people that we hang around.
Being considered.
Not because they are, let's say, again, amazing aunt, amazing uncle, but are you an amazing sister or friend to me?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that we need to consider, and especially abantwana bamna, they only have one parent,
I want to come back to that.
Yeah.
I want to come back to that.
So one parent and a village.
How did you know you wanted to have children?
No, ever since high school.
You've always been.
The name Talanda, I've had it since high school.
What does Talanda mean?
Talanda is part of a sentence that says, Lati Talanda ilanga. The sun rose and shone in our eyes. Well, the sun shone. The sun rose and shone.
Yeah, no. It's late after.
That's the one.
Yeah.
So I was like, baninzi to Olatita. That's where Lati Talanda ilanga. So I was like, Lati Talanda. I was like, yeah, I'll go with the Talanda. And then I was going to, because I thought I was going to have one kid. And then in the midst of thinking of giving up on my surrogacy journey, I was like, Ilanga. And then I named my cousin's child Ilanga, beautiful baby girl. And then now I've got to, I'm like,
I need my name back.
I need my name back. What's her name? Cynthia? Florence? Something. But I was like, the second one I named Undaba, because he is a mountain, and that is literally in my way the hill I'm willing to die on. That's the mountain.
That's the hill you're willing to die on, girl.
My kids are the hill I'm willing to die on. No, zero trust in them.
So I actually tried the process of surrogacy, and well, for me, it was gonna be using my embryos, because at the time I found that after I had the twins, I bled a lot, and I was scared to fall pregnant again. So we tried to engage in agency and try and do the surrogacy thing. But for me, I found that it wasn't as quick as they make it out to be on TV.
My baby.
My God.
My darling. Remember the whole process, especially in a movie, they have to fit it in an hour and 30 minutes.
I know.
Candy, it's going to take you
a
year and a half or to 2 years.
Did you guys do the psychological evaluation?
Yes.
That's very important.
3 hours.
That's very important.
My surrogate and her husband did, 3 hours. We did it with the same
Did you use your own semen? Did you?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So
they are biologically
Yes,
yours.
they're biologically mine.
Okay.
Girl, have you seen that forehead? Have you seen those foreheads? I mean, even if I thought of denying them, they're like, billboard.
Hello, Sila.
Billboard.
And then you use somebody else's eggs.
Yes. So we've got, so it was my semen, and it was a white lady's egg. Eggs.
Did you choose the gender of, the race?
The race. Yes, I did.
Why would you choose?
A whole lot of people, will say, oh no, you're being colorist. You wanted to... And I'm just like, what's the difference? But my only difference was, and the reason why I was intentional is because I'm a traditional person, so amasiko and whatnot. And I really do believe in Indoye lineage.
Okay.
So my thing was, if I use Indoyom like an egg donor yom tom yam.
Yeah.
And I finally, say this, and I'm just like, what if let's say we're not 2 months or 3 months old, and then they just finish feeding or they're sleeping, and I go to the bathroom. When I come back, they're on top of the fridge, and I'm just like, so this is Takazelo. Oh, Kabazela, Zamini, like what am I gonna say? And I was just like, it's fine, my baby go to. And that's literally where my basis of using.
So they have the same egg and same sperm.
Yes.
Same donor.
Same mom, same dad.
Okay.
Same mom, same dad. Because she donated 30 eggs.
30.
I fertilized 16.
Yeah.
And I was just like, So, but then my 16, I was like, because already now,
Yeah.
once the embryos are there, I'm just
Yeah.
like, I can already see them
Mm.
as adults. And I'm just like, Masana, no. And I was like, from there, just choose the best of the best.
Yeah, the best quality, yeah.
Yeah, so they go through any
Screening.
all the screenings and everything. So I could live with 7.
Okay.
Now we've got 7 perfect embryos. Great stuff. Wonderful. And then the doctor's like, so guys, are you going to put in 1 or 2?
Guys, why are you saying guys? Who was
me and my
with you?
surrogate?
Oh,
yeah.
So
She
you
was in
met
the
her.
process.
It wasn't an anonymous.
agency. No. I had known her before.
Stop.
She's been a family friend for quite some time.
And she doesn't want to be in the
No, she understands. She completely understands. Sometimes she even comes and visits.
I actually have embryos frozen right now, and sometimes when I have to make the call to renew my storage for a year, I'm just like, should I donate these because people are struggling? But I've got this thing of, what if somebody raises my children somewhere else?
Exactly. And what if another thing for me then is, what if they somehow meet?
I know.
And they don't know.
Yes, and then they date.
Exactly. There's that. I don't know if she changed her mind, but with my egg donor, she was just like, she doesn't want any kids of her own. She's just doing this once and one time only.
She doesn't have children that are existing that she's raising.
No. She doesn't want kids. She just wants to give the gift of having kids. She was just like,
beautiful genes. That's
girl.
I know.
Shout outs to you, Anonymous. Shout outs to you. So now we are at the doctor, and it's like, one or 2
embryos.
And I'm just like, 1 is fine. It's like, well, there's a possibility
give it a better chance it might survive.
It might not latch. So if the one doesn't latch, at least there's still 1, so that you don't have to go through the process again and the payments and whatnot. And I was like, okay, sharp, 2. My surrogate was like, yeah, I've been telling you. Twins, I was like, but
it won't take.
It's a high risk. Carrying twins is a high risk pregnancy. I don't know medically if it really is, but I'm just like, guys, it is.
My whole twin pregnancy was a high risk
because, you've got 2 humans that are taking from you. You know what I mean? So, we implanted 2, and then God was just like,
both took.
There they are, and
my God,
I wouldn't have it any other way. I sometimes look at them and I'm like, hi man, and for 1. So when the other ones misbehave, I'm like, but I don't want to lie. I love them both madly. Raising them hasn't been easy, especially doing it by myself.
Yeah,
it really isn't.
Were you not married, girl?
Girl, I was. I was married, got divorced. When did I send the divorce papers? I sent them like 9 months later or something.
So when you had the twins, you were married?
No. I was already long. Yeah, I was already long divorced.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because surrogacy I've always wanted to do. I've did my research, since high school, even throughout varsity. And then I was going to do it anyways. And then I met my husband, and we were together on and off. My ex-husband, together on and off in my 20s. And then we separated within the marriage. And then I started my surrogacy journey. He came back, and then he was part of the journey. Then we divorced. I was no longer part of the journey. And then my surrogate was pregnant, and then I met my recent ex, and then things didn't work out after the kids were born. And I'm just like, a lot of things I'm grateful that they happened when the kids were young, so they don't have any real memory of that, experience or having that person in their lives. And that's why even now, what am I doing with my love life? Am I dating? What's going on dates?
Cool.
Yeah. What's going on dates? I'm not anyone's official partner. But
you're just out there.
Yeah, I go for dates here and there. And Nazol, guys, it's not like on every Thursday I'm on a date. No, it's maybe once every 2 months.
So now, would you want somebody to raise your children with you? Is that something?
That is where now I've got this question mark. I'm just like, I'm handling it as hard as it is. It's hard because I'm literally everywhere and handling it hands on. Do I still want to do it with a partner? I don't think so. I think grand, man. Grand. I just want to focus on
Your little family.
you know, my kids, because a partner here now,
Partner gone.
Now I need to explain to the kids. Now I also need to, let's say, partner was a part of the kids' lives for 10 years. Now we are breaking up, or let's say we get married. Now we're divorcing after 10 years. Now she's going to want rides, wants to see the kids. Because, I mean, in all fairness,
He raised them.
He raised them with me. And now it's unfortunately baby daddy issues. And there's funny baby daddy issues. So I don't know how I'm planning to navigate relationships where now things are really getting serious. Okay, are we getting married? Are we not? Okay, who's moving to whose
house? Yeah.
Am I moving to your house with the kids?
That's the part of being considered.
Am I taking? Are you moving into
our house?
Our house, but my kids are there, and my kids are used to a certain routine. Like, then let's say we'll go to the fridge, take whatever or make whatever.
Yeah.
Then now there's going to be stepfather also basically. Why man? Guys, I think we're meant to the relationship sharp. Staying together, I couldn't need, man. Like I couldn't need sleepovers here and there, but man, you are I've got zero trust in men.
Those are the daddy issues now.
Zero. Zero. Did I mention the zero?
No, you did.
Okay, cool. Comma 0. And somewhat somehow in just humanity as well. You know, I don't want to lie. The past couple of months have been hell. I've dealt with back-to-back betrayals, family, relationship, friends, it's just been a whole lot.
I think it's in the air.
You know, and the one thing that I hate and I love, the one thing that I hate about it is if I were to give myself a score about the father I was in the past couple of months, I would give myself a very low score.
Sure.
Because I could not, on some days, be emotionally available to my kids. They're crying.
You also crying. Yeah.
I'm also crying. You know, so
I know
all of these deceptions, they took a whole lot of me being present. I physically, yes, I was there. I was doing everything in my power, but emotionally, I was, you know. But one thing I love about it, it removed each and every single person that was not supposed to be in my life. And now I'm able to jump back and be the father I've always wanted to be. The father that I was before, you know, trials and tribulations of the past couple of months. So I'm basking in it. I'm using this time to get back to Umushe, get back to my core values, the things that I love doing, and what do my kids love doing? You know, let's go out more. Okay, cool. I know Talanda loves the scooter, but he's a huge fan of the slide now. Thank you so much to Joy Josie and Papa Chinos and the rest.
I like his life.
You know what I mean? Oh, love.
Saved me.
So I'm taking them out more now, and it's just like, as much as time stood still for me for quite some time. And it's only now I'm realizing abantwana bayakhula abantwana, they should be going out, attending birthdays, playing. You know, we should have a regular play date. Okay, sharp Sundays, we go to church. After church, we go home, and this is what I have, the vision I have in the future when they are
older,
of sound minds, is Sunday we wake up, we go to church. Sunday morning we wake up, we prepare soup. And there's bread there. We put it's either we leave it at home, we go to church, straight from church, we come back, we change, we go, we change spots around Joburg, We've got our table, our foldable table, and then there's soup for the homeless. As soon as that part is done, then sharp, guys, we can go to any restaurant you like.
What
For Sunday.
values? I love those
You know,
values.
I want them to know. And yes, sure. You'll have lunch. Your sandwich for church if church is taking too long, and I've got a meeting, guild maybe after church or whatever it is. But we first feed, and then we go sit down and break bread together. That's literally it's the culture that I want for my kids. And I know they're a bit young now to understand, but recently I've started a thing of praying every day, 8 o'clock. That's how it used to be at my grandparents' house. 8 o'clock, TV. We pray. And literally each and every day. Sometimes it's hard because, I'll finish shooting at 7:30. I won't make it. But on days that I'm there, each and every time, 8 p.m., kuyathandazwa. Even if I'm not there, bayayazi unantsikuxhuma nomabuki into yokuba, guys, 8 p.m.
kuyathandazwa. Start them young. Have a routine right now and a structure that will, raise them and shape them into these people with values, people with principles.
Exactly. 15 minutes, one praise and worship song or two. Say okay, cool. Scripture, we pray. Sharp. That's there. I want them to grow up knowing that on Sundays they've got an appointment with their Maker.
God.
They've got an appointment with God, just to go lay down their problems and just be, in I don't know, like God's Spirit is with us everywhere we go, but just going to church is another experience. And I don't want to lie, I love Bethesda Methodist. There's
your dubs is.
Yes, and she's the one that introduced me to it before Bendise Central. And when I moved, I stay like 15 minutes away from Itzawa, Ngoko, and I was introduced to Bethesda. I absolutely fell in love with it. My kids fell in love with it, even though they make a noise, a racket, and they are just running up and down.
But you're in the house of the Lord.
I'm in the house of the Lord, and the Lord understands, So I absolutely love it, and I love how I've grounded them into this is church. This is what we do on Sundays. This is what we do every day. We pray at 8 p.m. Each and every day, because it's something solid to yobakhulisa koyo. You can never go wrong with God.
Foundation.
Obviously, exactly.
It's a legacy. I was actually going to ask you, what is the legacy that you wish or pray to leave behind for your boys? And you just answered that. Maybe that's part of it.
Yes, it's part of it, and also because it's resilience. Resilience also speaks to that, if it doesn't add to it, in terms of that foundation, that Christian foundation. Because no matter what happens in your life, when you pray, when you've got faith, that shows resilience. Because when you don't lose faith, that is part of resilience. Because you're just like, things happened, it's okay. I
was actually having a conversation with Babu Sebonga Twala recently, and this was no way about speaking on legacy and everything. And he just goes and says, you know what, as a father, the one legacy, the most important legacy that you should leave, or I thrive to leave behind for my children, is for my kids to know and fear God. And that is to know Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. And I was just like, Guy, it's, when I saw you at the Lilo and Stitch, I was with his daughter, so I was taking the daughter home. And we sat and we chatted over, because I'm friends with his wife, and we just got on to talk about God and raising children at this foundation, and having them know that even though you are living in a privileged life, you've got so much, but not your own making.
And the thing is, the Bible has got so many life lessons that we would not be able to teach our kids, and sometimes, I don't want to lie, it's easier to say, but God said.
God said.
God said. You've seen. The Bible, that there's society now, and not only kids, but some of the grown-ups that we call friends or hang around or whatever, there is such a deterioration of moral fiber.
Yeah, girl.
Abekho abantu,
Lalela.
abekho abantu bamanyani.
We are scared
You
to
know-
be accountable and be yo.
Accountable.
Yo.
Rather plot lies scheme that to be
Lalela,
accountable.
my friend.
Abantu abekho, abantu man, you know. It's only here, there, just few.
No, people don't want to call the truth and be like, listen, my guy, this is not how it's done.
You know? And I just pray with everything, with abantwana bam, especially growing up in these days, guys. I thought when my friends were like, back in the day, back in the day, this would not fly. This would not fly, from my teenage nieces and nephews and whatever. I'm just like, and now I don't want to lie. Besides loving my kids and cherishing them and everything else, when I think about my kids, I have a lot of fear. How will they make it in the world?
Yeah.
How I will try to, I will raise them to be kind, loving, respectful, but we don't live in a loving world.
Yeah.
How will they navigate
unkind people?
How will they navigate rejection? How will they navigate hate? And there's something that I was, it's not that I've never thought about it when I was going through the process of how can I teach them to be confident enough where I think God, by the time they go to school, I mean, having two dads, please. Not that there's going to be a partner. I'm
manifesting it for you.
Okay, I receive. I receive
in the US.
I receive. Kind more than anything. I'm responsible, kind, loyal, honest. But I really want exactly. What world are my kids going to be growing up in? So am I raising them with my morals and values and everything else that I was taught by, my mom and, through my faith in Christianity? Or am I going to raise them to be ready for the world? What do I do? If someone is mean to you, then
you be mean back.
You be mean back because clearly now that's how to survive. And I'm just like, oh, okay.
Kill them with kindness.
Just remove yourself. But the thing is, I was having this conversation actually with another friend of mine. I was like, as much as I understand, kill them with kindness, that a whole lot of bad people are going, a whole lot of bad people are getting away with a whole lot. And you're just like,
but
so
do you think they're getting away with it though?
We are not there when they go to bed and they have to face themselves and they see how void, lonely they actually are. Okay. How void of love, care, and everything else that they seek. Abanayo.
Genesis 1:2 says the Lord's Spirit is everywhere. So God sees them and then He knows what they're doing. So trust me, there's no peace. There's no peace. You can fool us, but there's no peace. I raise my kids to be without me, in a world without me. So that's my thing. And that's where the people always say to me, how do you survive sending your kids to boarding school? I'm like, I'm teaching my kids to live without me.
Is that?
I am teaching my children to live in a world where I'm not there. Because I won't be there forever. And the twins now, they're 4. And grade 4 starts, I'm taking them to boarding. That's it. I have to teach my children to be in a world where I'm not there. They learn independence. They learn so much in that boarding school structure. For me, I'm an advocate for boarding schools.
Yeah.
But I try, even tomorrow Friday in the morning, I'm going to see my kids. They're playing hockey. But I'm very present. I'm very involved. But I also want them to know that they have to be in a world where I could no longer be there. Because we no longer live in a society where we know what and noma uzothathwa.
Yeah,
Lalela.
that is so true. Every time, especially, when you think about kids, you can't not think about when you're not there. It's a reality. But some of the harshest realities is that, some parents bury their children, which is something that
we rebuke.
We rebuke. But as, let's say, a natural order of things, when I go, who is going to, my mom is still alive. So, definitely my mom. But besides my mom, the next best person is my aunt, actually. Tam. But what if she's no longer there?
Yeah.
And there's Ubuntu. What if she's not there, or maybe she's got a family?
Yeah.
That's another time.
Yes, that's another dynamic.
But
Yeah.
no makulu, but umakulu ne family yakhe, and yes, the husband might be
like guys, playing.
Like I two. Remember I look two. And then obviously,
and it's boys.
Exactly, and obviously it's my, their godmother, unons. Literally, those are the only people that I can think of that can take care of my kids and have the same morals, discipline, love, affection, protection. Yeah. And also that's also another difficult decision.
Right.
But okay, should I?
Right. I know. Kick the bucket. What happened?
Who's gonna take care of them?
No one is ever good enough.
Exactly.
No one is ever good enough.
Exactly. And what will they learn? How will they be like in the world? So now I'm just like, okay, God, I'm not asking for a lot, but like,
keep me.
Keep
me.
Like, 60 something, 60 something, but like, I've got a whole lot of things to do in my 60s as well. A whole lot of things
60s now, my God, no.
Exactly.
80.
Women go 80. Perila Bell is 81 years old. She recently celebrated her.
They look fabulous.
Exactly.
Girl.
So I'm I don't want them to become anyone else's responsibility but mine. I'm not responsibility of anybody but myself and them. And also, with obviously being a parent, you think about, okay, what are they going to be when they're older? And I remember I was shooting Ready Steady Cook. I like her our guests. And I remember saying, no man, I'm not too sure about my child coming to me and saying that they want to be a creative. They want to be an actor, they want to be a singer. Because I'm like, Sana, we freelancer. Relying on another freelancer. So my two cooks to it, but delay invoices, but but she made such a beautiful statement where she said, Moshe, raise the child that you have, not the child that you want.
Yeah.
You say, but okay, singer, freelancer, look at Tyler. What if your child becomes a Tyler? What if your child then becomes a Mozart?
Yeah.
What if your child then becomes the next Tiger Woods? Yeah. So I think in terms of what they are going to become, that's the strategy I'm taking. I'm like, oh, okay. The best thing I can do is just expose them to a whole lot of things, I don't know, how soon does it start? Like soccer practice?
3 years, my
3 years?
Yes.
Okay, so I've got 1 more year.
Yeah, I know. When my son was playing soccer in Spain, he said to me, Mom, these kids here are so good. They started like 3, and I'm like, that's the age. Now I'm going to start with Kosi now to start playing golf now, because I don't want to be sitting on that field and watching cricket, because the big ones taught me hard.
Yeah, but okay. That's so my team, Nicole.
Just look at golf.
I want them to do all sorts of sports. I didn't do much sport when I was growing up. I was more of a choir, give me drama.
Queen.
Yeah, give me drama, give me choir. Power walking, where it's like you're walking, but in power. It's not like jogging. It's halfway between walking and jogging. But I know it's Oh, I'll forever love Mrs. Weber
Stop.
for that. So there's also those it's uncertainties. It's, am I doing things right? Am I? How do I? Especially when it comes to twins, it's like, how do I teach this one that? No, you can't grab something from him because he brought it from the kitchen. Then just go fetch
Go get your
yours
own.
from the kitchen. And then now, because Ndaba walked in the other day, like I was eating, and then naturally, because power, by power,
Abuela.
comes with his dish and a fork and stands in front of him. I'm like,
I don't give. I'm like, girl.
but sweetie, no, because also I was having a very spicy meal. And then the other one just grabs the fork from me. I was like, no. And then now the one's crying because this one's grabbing a fork. Now I'm taking the fork. I'm like, no, I'm going to tata a kitchen.
You really have
like,
twins.
Then Jimmy, I'm like, now Sukala, you've got it back. Calm down. I was like, then obviously now we're at that stage where tantrum, just throw myself on the floor, whether they're on a scooter, and if I say no to something,
You
on
must
the
teach
floor.
the other one to go. When they go, they come back with 2 things.
There's that, but like at 1 year and 9 months, like
They learn. Yes, you go get for your brother. Bring it. I'll keep it. Go get for your brother.
I love that.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. Hopefully they will listen.
They will.
Hopefully
I promise you.
they listen. And I don't want to lie, it's been beautiful, man, just watching their 2 different personalities. One is a bully, one is just a sweetheart.
So they're fraternal because it was 2 embryos. So they're not identical.
They're not identical. Yeah,
Okay.
they're definitely not identical. The other one is a bit bigger than the other one. The other one loves his space. Sometimes it's just like, like just leave me alone. Just give me a bottle, and he will set up his own place to chill. He's taken over my seat in the house now.
He's the man of the house.
Yeah, and it was just like, and he'll just, and I'm like, oh, okay, sharp.
I'll move.
Then I'll just move. And there, sometimes my friends will be like, no, they need to know that, no, this is your space. And then
no, like, you're not going to parent my kids.
I'm like, son, right. Yeah. I mean, it's just dingamuva. Yeah. Like in dingamuva, there's certain things where I'm just like, okay, there's absolutely no need. Yeah. He's identified the space as his. And Ndaba doesn't really care. I mean, he eats standing. After eating, he'll be running around. I'm just like, okay, so sharp, burning calories. It's just one of those things. And he's more calm. But I love it when the other one cries and then the other one's like, grabs a bottle and is like,
oh, stop.
And I'm just like,
oh,
can't we be like this 24/7? Like all the time? No pushing. No.
People always say, wow, you've got twins. I'm just like, it's double the work, guys.
Yeah.
It's double the chaos. It's double the expenses. And it's double, school fees are going to be twice. Everything is going to be twice.
Lady.
The twin was showing me, one teddy, one doll. And they're like, I want this doll. I always fool them and go and take a lot. And they think they're shopping. And every time Checkers comes, they think the delivery is there. So they're crying for this doll, the twin.
Ma'am.
So
in the hopes of what? They'll forget?
My friend, I'm just trying.
Okay.
So the one twin, the shopaholic one that likes everything, she's like, I want this doll. And I said, I don't have money. You must ask your dad. And so I said, Auntie, call the dad and say that the child wants the doll. So the dad confidently says, screenshot, the doll is 3.2. And I sent, he says, no, there's no, because it's 2 now. It's $6,000. Imagine, everything is double. It's double.
And it needs to be the same color, because if the one now is sitting on the green chair, not the red chair, it's like, no.
I want the red one. They always want the one that,
Yeah, the other one wants. And I'm just like,
even because now wants everything pink, because the sisters, so everything is pink. I'm just like, leave him. It doesn't matter, even if it's pink. And the girls be like, no, but pink is not for boys.
It's like whatever. Because it's the one that comes after twins. Yeah.
My friend, I'll bring them to your house.
Please, let's just make a madhouse.
I know.
Let us just make a madhouse out of baby.
But I've really enjoyed chatting to you. Like, you glowing as a dad. I love it for you. I love it for you. And you're still going to enjoy more things, more stages of growing up, the first day of school. You're going to be weeping like a baby. You're going to be weeping. Like,
something that I also want to ask from you, right? What age is the perfect age of taking the kids to school? Now, my mom's take is, no, they're still too young. I mean, I think I went to crash for like a year or 2, and then I went straight to grade R or grade 1. And there's no grade R at that time. she's like, no, like maybe when they're 4 or 5, like crash, and then. But now we are living in a climate where we've got working single moms, we've got working couples that need to be at work, and sometimes it's like I don't want to leave my child with a stranger. The whole day. I mean, the dad is gone, the mom is gone, or what's going to happen? And now kids are going to school as early as 6 months.
Yeah, for me, with my older children, like my eldest is 21, and I started them at school at 3.
Okay.
For me, I found that that's the age they also want to be stimulated. And you can't do that on your own. They now need to identify a color. They want more out of you. They want you to be engaged. They want you to start, the motor skills and so you can't do that on your own. So with Bushe, like the one that I intentionally started at 3 years old, he's 15 now. I've never done creche. I've never ever experienced creche. They've always gone to a school that's
going to feed it.
Yes, it's going to feed in. Yeah. So the twins now, because he started with the twins, they all started in school. They go to the same school, and they thrive, man. They still have. I still keep my nanny because I need my nanny.
Yeah.
But they go to school every day, happily so, and they'll finish at 2:00. And I get them. By the time they get home, they have a little routine of a storybook or coloring, and then shower time. Supper time, they're out.
Yeah.
So that also helps with the routine.
Yes, exactly. And my thing is, if now you send your kid later, they're going to be the same thing. Yeah. I think your son was saying, but they started soccer at 3. Now when you take them, but no, already in grade 1,
underdeveloped.
They can articulate certain things and but when yours started later, so now it's going to be a whole lot of catch up. Yeah. So I think it really is important, and like they are celebrating 2 years in August, and if I had it my way,
coming to the party,
like please, girl, please. If I had it my way, they would literally start in August already. Like let's just try it out.
But also, it's the potty training then. Exactly. The potty training, the bottle.
My mom is like, no,
girl,
they must go like later, and I was just like, girl, Exactly. But I've decided now they're going to start next year. When they're 2 years old, they're going to start in January.
Also, when they can say, I need to go to the toilet, and also they can identify somebody pinched me, somebody did this to me. You want them to be out there in a world where they can be able to speak.
Yeah.
To be able to say, ngicela ukuthi ngiye toilet.
Yeah.
You know this, I'm hungry, I need to go to the loo. It gives them independence.
Yeah.
You're off nappies quicker.
Yeah.
Your pocket's not dying as quickly, but obviously you're paying school fees. But for me, I don't regret the decision of taking my kids to school. I love the routine they have. I love that and also another advantage of taking your kids to school is teachers pick up early if your kid has got speech problems. Then you can attend to those things. If it's OT, I feel like there are things that we cannot do as parents.
Yeah.
And they also need to play with other kids, learn how to share, learn how to be around other kids. So for me, I mean, it's a personal decision, obviously. It's a personal choice, but it worked for me. It worked. Bushe, the one that's 15 now, he started school at 3 years old, met his best friend at 3. The friend moved to Australia. They still see and have the friendship till now.
Yeah.
And Bushe started swimming at the age of 3. He learned so much. Like you take advantage of so many things so early, and you get to see my child gravitates towards the lonely kid in the classroom. They get to make friends, and you identify, what is my child kind, that they learn to share.
Yeah.
If they see a boy with no water, will they share? You see so much and learn so much from your children when they are around other children.
Perfect. Got it.
So that's just my take.
I got it.
21 years of experience as a mom. Bring it.
21 years. Damn. Also, you look 21 yourself. So, yeah. Like, what?
I know. He's also a co-parent now, so it helps.
Oh, yeah. But maybe. Maybe I might just, you are under you are.
I'm done.
You are. I'm done. Because now I've got 5 embryos left. And
leave those embryos alone, okay?
What was just that?
Maybe just one more.
One more. Maybe just one more. Maybe just one more.
Maybe a girl. I see you as a girl, Dad. Huh?
You can't decide.
You can. That embryologist, trust me, I know it's illegal in South Africa, but you just be like, embryologist, like, look at those embryos. Like, I've got boys already. Hint, hint. Like, I had boys before my IVF.
Yeah.
I told them I want girls, but, hush, hush. And then, surprisingly, I was pregnant with twin girls.
Ta-da! No, absolutely.
I'm corrupting you guys. I wish we could chat for longer. Before we go, Moshe, please, it's Father's Day. We're celebrating dads. What message do you want to send out there to new dads, old dads, stepfathers, because they're also important, uncles that play a role of being dads? What is the message out there? But most importantly, what message do you want to leave for your two boys for them to see one day?
All right. To all the dads, stepdads, uncles, brothers, older brothers who are playing the role of a dad, just be present. Be present in the moment. I know sometimes it's hard because you feel like the job of being a provider ends with finances, as long as they're healthy, as long as they are, doing well at school. But involve yourself more in terms of their emotions. How are they feeling? What type of beings are they? You can't just raise a kid and then just
hope for the best.
No, we need to get to, into their psyche, and especially boy dads, with what is happening in the country now with GBV. Remember, it is not up to the women. Women don't kill each other. They don't rape each other. They don't abuse each other. It is men that are doing this to women. So look at the boy child that you are raising. Spend more time to understand him. Give him time. If you notice there is a problem, there is something from the get-go, don't shove it under the carpet, but under the guise of boys will be boys. You need to be present. You need to take extra precautions now, because you guys know what is happening in the country. You guys are seeing what is happening in the country. Girls are missing. And to the girl dads, just have a good relationship, enough for your daughter to tell you when they've been violated. Otherwise, it is not a matter of now girl dads and girls must learn to be more vigilant. I absolutely hate that, because umdu can be going to church, they can be going into for grocery shopping, post office, going on a date, going to school. It can happen at any point in time. I just want girls to be able to speak out sooner, and literally that's it. For them to have a platform. Umntana angahlali athi, hey, andizokwazi nothetha ekhaya kustrict ekhaya. Nam, what was I doing out at night? There's not a problem with umntana uba aziyele eklabhini, going to a restaurant to go and enjoy themselves with friends and so forth. The problem starts when they're being violated. And also, nabo gaske babe nayo i-foundation for bathethe.
They feel safe.
To my boys, shoo, this feels like I'm recording a. By the time you're reading it, I would have died. If you're reading this, I'm probably dead. My boys, I want to say to you, thank you. Thank you. As much as it seems like I'm raising you guys up, you guys are raising me. You are teaching me a whole lot of things about patience, discernment, love, and sacrifice. And for as long as I live, I will always make the necessary sacrifices to bring you up in a home where there is love, there is peace, there is consideration, there is trust, and there is me. I love you.
And you will always be chosen.
And you will always be chosen.
Oh man, I've enjoyed this last episode of our first season, guys. What a send off. What a closing.
See you next season, y'all.
See you next season, y'all. I need to rest, guys. It's been good. Thank you so much for joining me in my lounge. I love you.
I love you, girl.
So guys, this is the end of season 1 of Life Lately podcast with Nozipho. I want to share my gratitude with you guys. I want to thank you so much for being part of my community, for growing with me, for being patient with me, for just being here every Monday to see what we chat about and just support. I appreciate each and every one of you. We are going to be back. I just need some rest. I need to regroup. We're going to be back for season 2. I cannot wait to see you guys again. Enjoy the break.